I love it. So I want to, Sharon, I don't know what you started with. I'm just jumping in.
Elise started and just introduced herself. She was so great and said, let's use our time wise. And she introduced herself, and then Lori came on. So it was perfect. So we are ready for you, though.
Perfect. Well, then everybody else drop where you're from and what your intention is for the call today in the chat. And um, would love to hear that and meet your intentions and what you're looking to create in your business. Um, and Sharon, can you pin? Well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be pinned. Um, okay. So let's dive in with that. We just had an incredible leadership with all new direction. And I want to hear, I love seeing some of these intentions roll in. You can think about it for a minute, we'll get it right. But I want to hear what was your takeaway from leadership, what you're feeling drawn to do in your business as well. And maybe while people are showing that in the intentions, raise, pipe in, unmute. I would love to hear what your takeaways from leadership were, either in the chat or speak it. And we'll kick off that way. Awesome.
I'll go first.
Go, Chastity.
My takeaways were, there were so many, but one of the ones that I have implemented since I've gotten home was doing the 30-day Miracle Morning Challenge. I started doing that, and I challenged all my builders to do it and my kids. And I've gotten so much stuff done that is unbelievable that it's changed. And my girls have enrolled 11 people so far. My 5 ladies that are doing Silver Club together, they've enrolled 11 people so far. So I'm very, very proud of them and what they're doing, because this is their very first Silver Club. And so my takeaway was, I want to lead like you do.
Awesome. Be more of a multiplier in your business.
Yeah. And I want to go to different countries too. So I may call on you for your help when they come to me.
Sweet. I love it. And for sure, how to be a multiplier and how to grow internationally. Powerful. Wow.
So
Hi.
I'll chime in. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So a week prior to leadership, Natalie and I were having a conversation, and Natalie, you wrote on my paper, "Clear is kind." And that sunk right down to my soul. And we were talking about it in the context of being clear with those on our team, being clear with what people's needs or intentions are, and some builders that I have that are no longer building, just releasing that with clarity. But throughout leadership, I kept hearing that in my mind, and I realized how kind clarity is to myself as well. And then also really evaluating what my prayers for my business are. I've always prayed to be led to those that I can help with oils, but now I have, since sitting with you, Natalie, I have shifted that to, who can I help to impact the world with doTERRA? Who needs me to lead them? And so just,
Can you guys feel that? Just when she said that, can you feel that power that comes off with just that question? I just have to stop right now because it's so powerful. If you will stand in that question, I promise you will receive answers. Keep going, Elise.
well, that's no, and I have, that's the crazy thing, is I have just continued to feel those small little downloads coming as I've shifted from thinking, who, this little girl from this little town, and what little people can I help, to shifting that to, who am I going to partner with? Like, who's linking arms with me? Like, I know who I'm linked arms with. but who's going to link arms with me and really perpetuate that impact forward. It's just helped me to think so much bigger and feel more confidence, which has been a weird shift in my heart and in my gut. So leadership just solidified a lot of that. And I just start every single day with, okay, what clarity do I need to be kind to me so that my impact is what the Lord needs it to be? So
Mm.
I don't know.
Wow. I love that. Wow. Great clarity. And look at the answers flowing as soon as you get that clarity. Wow. So amazing. Anyone else? And I'm looking at your chat. Build on momentum, explode my business, impact more in 2024. Fine-tune duplication, get connected. Shelly, I know you can get connected. Just love you and so excited for what happens. And this kind of call, you can connect right here, right? You can connect right here, right now, and you can create the connection that you need. And if you need something different, you raise your hand and you create something different, right? Lots of impact intentions, right? Get inspired, alignment and momentum. It's really important, like what Elise was just talking about, that if we start asking the right questions, then we start getting answers and we get that inspiration. So then we can be aligned and then get to momentum. And it is a 3-step process. It is not momentum first, right? Yeah. Oh, I love that, Lori. Partner with God in prayer to guide me to those who need what I have to offer. Elise, I think when we met on mentoring, we talked about how important prayer was and that it's the most important part in your business. And so I love that I can do Miracle Morning like Chastity was talking about and just be showing up there for my family and my life. And when I pray for my business and ask that it be prospered, it's crazy, all the doors that open, right? And we become instruments, right?
So
Jessica,
I'll just
go
add
ahead.
something that I learned from you was, I mean, I've always prayed for my business. I'm a prayer on my knees, in my car, in the store, whenever, right? Like, but I'm realizing I've been a little too general and just saying, Heavenly Father, bring to me what you need. God, help put me in the right place. Or I've just been really vague, and just putting that clarity and being brave enough to say, who do you need me to talk to today? Send me the person that I can partner with doTERRA as that 4th silver leg to re-rank diamond, right? Like being that specific has brought so much more confidence and clarity. And you modeled that for me. That was a big takeaway for me after we had that time mentoring, was that I deserve to ask very specifically because it's waiting to come. And if I'm more directed and more dialed in, then I'm going to see it. If I'm being too generic in my questions, I might miss the answers because I'm not as dialed in on exactly what I'm trying to find.
I love that awareness, guys, because it's so important to have this. I remember one of the first coaches we had, he was like, you ask for whatever and you're going to get whatever. And I was like, oh, that's so annoying. I don't want whatever. I want this great thing, you know? And he's like, but you're asking for whatever. You are not clear enough about that. That's why you keep getting whatever. And I think some people are naturally like, you know, like if I look at my style versus another builder style, like just me and Elise Shedevy, right? Like, what's her style? She's very specific and very da da da. So it would be easy for me because the way I deal with people is, hey, I'm going to work with this and I can be flexible and I can work with people, right? And so what does that lean me towards? Leans me towards whatever. And so I can still keep all those relationship, like the great things about working with people and that people can be totally different and we can work together. All of that can be happening. And I gotta be clear enough. So I didn't realize that it had to be, that it, you know, didn't have to go together, right? So you can still be kind and be clear. Clear is kind, and clear with God is going to bring answers and that momentum and the impact that I see a lot of you talking about, right? Lana, I love that about Emily. That's what I heard from a lot of people. That actually reached them more than anything was her choice to be like, what is the most important thing I can do right now? And in that space. And sometimes when we're listening to ego in our business, or we're doing things so that we can be seen or feel important, or whatever our need is, right? I still haven't figured out what's making balloons in my Zoom, but we're going to figure this out. So if it's feeling important, then it's about me, and I can't really serve and have the impact and momentum that I need. But when I get out of the way and show up as an instrument, and I'm just ready to play big, and I'm listening and asking for, what is it that I need? How can I show up today? How can I make the difference? And what role can I play? Who would you have me call? What would you have me do? Then we get breakthrough and all kinds of goodness, right? So Emily totally modeled that. How can you claim, and Gwen, if you didn't get to watch leadership, I would say go to your leaders and say, hey, is there anything, could I watch on your login for a day? Or do you have something that stood out to you? And there's going to be clips on YouTube too that you'll start seeing come up, right? So search for doTERRA leadership and find a way. Some of my favorites were Emily Wright at the very beginning. What else? Drop your favorites in the chat, but that changed you. Maybe it's the word chat. Nope. Yep. So, Robin, what were you going to say?
It's your hand motions.
Oh, it's my hand motions that's starting balloons in the chat. Anyway, we will, because I'm not getting it all the time, right? Oh, I don't know what it is. Okay, so whatever stood out for you, put your top pieces in the chat. It was Emily for me. I loved hearing Kirk Jowers and trusting the process that God will bring you back to where you're meant to be. And hear about his leadership and vision, which, by the way, really excited for where his leadership is going to take doTERRA. And he is super knowledgeable and super open. Just even since he got put in, we were talking to him about big network marketers, a couple other places, and he knew all about the situation of those companies and what was happening, and just so savvy and so smart, like off the charts smart and not afraid. So amazing. The keynote address, that was amazing. That's worth watching. You can totally watch that on YouTube. You can see it there. The science was amazing. I did think the multiplier conversation was really good, and for you to think about as you're attracting leaders. So that was our presentation, and I love Matt Hall's presentation. He had to do it fast, but his content was really good about finding people and how to connect to more people. Just those 100 conversations or 50 conversations, whatever that number is for you, to just start that. So those were the highlights. Chastity, I love that you're doing the Miracle Morning. We are doing it at our house. Like, we came home, we shared the vision with the kids. We watched one of, what's his name again? Hal Elrod. His things on YouTube. And he's got great, like, a video of his life story that we could share with the kids. And then the quick overview of how he does his Miracle Morning. And it's so cute. Like, our 12-year-old has just, it's changed her world, you know? And I think it can change all of ours when we just make that choice to wake up that much earlier. So for me, it's like, okay, what time do I need to start things? And then I need at least an hour. And then I can multitask on some of those things, right? I'm listening to audio while I'm working out, but I'm getting that silence and the prayer in and all the goodness, right? Oh, that's awesome. And even though it happens imperfectly, like, then we had some kid stuff for a couple of days, but then you just go back. And I noticed, like, even if it was a day, I loved how he said, you can get all the parts and pieces in, even if it's 1 minute each, you know, make sure you get that stillness and prayer in, make sure you're getting, how are you getting that movement in, So it's amazing. I love it. Oh, Justin Harrison's presentation on presenting was great. I hope somebody recorded that, so that gets broadcast. So, good recap, amazing stuff. There's a great Hal Elrod 5-minute rule of what you can't change, you know? Let go of what you can't change. That might be something else as well. But let's jump in as we look. I want you brought your intention here, and maybe you have specific situations where you're like, how can I turn up the momentum, or how can I impact more, or what would you do to get inspired, aligned? Let's go to specific situations that you have, that you're dealing with, and mentor on those, and it'll serve everyone. So who is ready to jump in? Don't be shy, and don't wait for somebody else. That was
Okay, I'll go first again. So the follow-up, I know we've heard the fortune is in the follow-up, and I know how I do mine, but do you have a simplified way of doing mine? Because my follow-up usually takes an hour and a half because I'm a listener, but my builder, they have other jobs, and so they don't have an hour and a half to sit with everyone that they do a follow-up with.
When
Yeah.
you're talking about a follow-up, are you talking about a wellness consult?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have like
So-
a group one you do or anything like that?
Yeah. So I like that idea. So let me give a few thoughts. Jenna can add to that. And yeah, anybody else that wants to be mentored, maybe raise your hand too, and then we'll get you in line and be able to take care of as many as possible. So I do love a good group wellness consult, because imagine, you know, you could do that for your people and then they could do the 15 or 20-minute follow-up, right?
Mhm.
Or you could record a video. So they could either be coming to a live group wellness consult, which, right, it's the same types of questions every time. And then you can be addressing those things. I love a good wellness consult where at the beginning, you know, there you can go through all of the Live Guide and let the Live Guide just direct the whole wellness consult. And then you do that 20-minute follow-up. They schedule that on the end of that live call or after they've watched your video. And then that 20-minute follow-up lets you get that wellness consult page dialed in on, right? So that's one really great hack. I've got people that do it once a week on their team and they just rotate who's doing it. I've got people that do it once a month and then they just refer to the recording after that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other ideas for Chastity? Drop them in the chat. But I love, oh yeah. And then when you have those specific things, you can go deeper with someone because you got a little bit more time, right? My sister used to do a wellness consult and a symphony of cells for their first follow-up, and it would take her about 3 hours, you know? And once she got better, she was like, I think I did it in 90 minutes. That was so amazing. I'm getting so great. And I just, you know, you have to be wise. Again, if you have that group wellness consult to plug people into, then you can spend the time, because sometimes they need that time. But then you could spend the time to do a symphony of cells or give them this experience or show up more because they have bigger health issues. Whatever that is, you know, if that's a great system for the group wellness consult, so the other can get free and simple.
Thanks.
Okay, Jenica.
Okay, sorry, always takes me a minute to find my little settings. Okay, I have a question for you on, I've been looking back in my video from Jessica Moultrie, because I'd like to get some people started on this. Are you really familiar, Natalie, with how she does fundraising for like sports events? And I just can't find
No,
her. You're not.
I am not.
I thought I'd ask you while I'm on the call. I'm like, maybe Natalie knows, but she does do fundraising for sports events. So I mostly just wanted to see if we had like an outline that you were aware of that could be shared there.
No, do you have a recording based on that?
I have a
Or-
recording, but I can't find info in the recording for her outline.
Okay, I'll ask her, and if I get anything, I'll send it back your way.
Okay, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Great, Elise.
Okay, so a few days after you and I chatted and my prayers were more clear, I had a pharmacist who is going back to school into functional medicine asked me about my thoughts on functional medicine because of a comment that I had made on Facebook. Anyway, he's interested in looking at how doTERRA could work with his functional pharmacy coaching kind of thing is what he's doing. So I would just love any guidance on what's been done or what you've seen done or what could be done Obviously get him using the oils first, right? But then just trying to help him see a vision that I don't quite see yet for him, because that's not an area that I have done. Um, anyway, I just would love some input on your experience that way.
Okay, so if you could wave your magic wand, what do you see him doing and how do you see him having the biggest impact? Tell me that, and then we'll talk about how.
Well, as he does his coaching calls with his clients, having enough knowledge and confidence with what doTERRA has to offer and being able to put that in with what he's doing, right? So that he can be like, here's a link to the doTERRA products that would be your next step, and then enrolling them. But then I kind of get muddled in the whole follow-up structure. Right? He's just going to be creating a leg of a lot of volume, which isn't necessarily bad, but isn't going to help him go beyond elite. So I get that beginning piece, and then the rest gets pretty fuzzy for me.
Where is he in your org? Have you already enrolled?
No, he is not enrolled yet. So I would either put him on my front line because I would need a new fourth leg, or my son is headed to medical school and he is working to build to silver to supplement their income while he's in medical school. And so I thought about putting him on my son's front line. Just anyway,
Yeah.
that's
So
right.
a couple of things to think about there is, I like the son idea somewhat because he could show up and do those follow-ups, or, they figure out how to partner so that there's, if he has the medical insights and your son can help on the business insights, to help things happen, right? Then we've got a good setup, then you've got a good combo. And maybe it's not necessarily your son, maybe it's somebody else, maybe you're like, oh, well, if I'm thinking about having somebody to art direct that team, it would be this person, right? That might be a better caretaker. So sometimes when you get those influencers that have lots of connections with people, you've got to just make sure that they've got somebody that can facilitate that, right? Or it doesn't go very far, right?
Okay.
So
That helps. And
that's some thoughts. And then you gotta keep things super simple for those practitioners, right? So you might talk to him and say, okay, what are you finding? Like, if you could wave your magic wand, what are you recommending for these type of people? Or who do you see most often than not? And then what kind of protocols? And then you've got to, you or whoever you put them with is creating a cart, maybe they're logging in his back office and creating that cart with that link so it becomes super simple for him. Or sometimes, like, I even have doctors that they can't do it themselves because of conflict of interest, but they'll be like, hey, my wife can get you with the right natural products for you. These are the ones that I recommend. Or tell her this protocol and she'll send you a quick link this afternoon, and then you can get everything that you need within 5 days, Yep, for sure, sharing. It's gonna be Susie that will call you this afternoon or in the next couple hours so that you can get exactly what you need. Because you have to move from that recommendation. It has to be really tight, as close as possible.
that's a good little piece in there so that they don't feel like they're getting passed off, but it was an intentional thing. But you saw me, and that means that I'm going to give you get this person to help walk you through some of the next steps. So thank you.
I want her to be able to go deep with you and answer any questions that you have this way or that way or the other,
Mhm.
And she'll be able to also be a support for you if you run into any issues along the way or need to dial in your use or da da da.
Right.
So that usually facilitates. If you think about it, whatever are their pain points or whatever their issues are, you've got to be able to just navigate that. If it's, I don't have very much time, or da da da. And, maybe like Chastity's saying, maybe he's a good case for an affiliate, but I don't, if you can get them to refer, then I think the affiliate is not as clear as it could be. So if you can facilitate things, I would keep regular wellness advocate if you can. If it's somebody online and they just want to be independent and you don't need, they don't need this kind of follow-up support, great. Affiliate all the way. But for this type of person, if you can facilitate it, that's where you're going to get access to that whole warm market or base that they have.
Well, and I think, I feel, so he started as a pharmacist to help people and then realized he was just giving them Band-Aids. This is all on his website, right? So that's why he's dove into functional medicine. And then because I had made a comment about functional medicine on someone else's pain points on Facebook, he reached out to me and was just like, hey, I'd like to know your experience because I'm wanting, I'm delving into this. And then it happened. I know things don't just happen. My team, we were doing a 3-day boot camp on all the science. And so how glorious, right? That I could be like, so in 2 days, you can hear all of these science stuff. And his intention when he entered the Facebook group and answering the questions was looking at this as a way to support his business. And so I'm hoping to be able to just cast that vision for him of, right now your passion is to see people and do consults, but when you're done wanting to do consults 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, this could create other income as you pull back, and it helps your clients become more independent with their proactive care. They might need to see you less, but you are still going to be benefiting from their proactive self-care, right? With the residual income from doTERRA. So is that, am I saying that kind of the right way? Is that
Yeah.
the whole
And
Colin bucket?
that sounds like the perfect person that it could work with, right? He's just getting into this. He knows he wants to make a difference. He wants to empower them. Like, this kind of all lines up with what we are. It's not like he just wants to be still doing Band-Aids. No.
Right. No.
And because he's still starting out, he probably could use the income as well, right? So this is, hey, I would love to partner with you and create a massive other stream of income as you're really helping people do what you feel called to do, right? So
Okay, this is so helpful. I'm waiting for him to get back with me. We finished the boot camp and I sent him some information over the weekend and to see, because the plan was to meet up after he was able to kind of go through the science, because he's completely new to essential oils.
yeah.
So I appreciate that, and I will work on my wording, but looking at it as a partnership, maybe just as much, right? With wherever he's placed on the team of, we're going to help you do the hard parts that you don't want to do so you can do what you're good at. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah. And then you can be prayerful about where, which partner is going to be the right person to work with him, give credibility, and be able to nurture and do that follow-up, right?
I agree. Yeah, I will definitely.
Then you can always, like with that son experience, if he's the right one, then you get a contract written up and they sign it so that it's a real deal, and not just like, oh, sure, I'll do that. And then it ends up falling back on you, right? Especially with your children that we love and we want things to go better. I
Well,
love
and
it.
with just starting medical school, I'm nervous about the time
Mhm.
commitment he could give. So I'm gonna need to really put a lot of thought and prayer into this for sure.
Yeah, and what Shelly just dropped in the chat is really good insights on which parts of our world really line up with functional medicine. Um,
Just gonna take a picture of that so that I can use some of that wording.
yes,
I say to him, thank you. I like the wellness pyramid is functional medicine.
yes.
So thank you so much. If you have any other tidbits and help, I'm open.
Well,
I'm an open book.
just remember, Von Watts went back to become a functional medicine doctor, right? So his parts from leadership, and sometimes, like, I don't know, on these leadership pieces, if they're not going, if you're not seeing them on YouTube or on the doTERRA science channel, I think it's 2, I don't know. If you're not seeing them in those places, then you go back and you screen record the parts. Like maybe you're just grabbing that Von Watts from leadership parts and saying, like, this is a new functional medicine doctor, and he helped Cellcore go to this, and now he's with doTERRA. And our detox products are going to be stronger and stronger. Right now, we have a great liver kidney detox, and we're gonna be strengthening all of that, and it will be so much more.
So you're thinking go back and like just screen record some of those things that he shared so that I can send those directly to him.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
do that. How long is the leadership recording up? I didn't even pay attention because I watched it live.
Drop, guys, who knows how long that is up? But I just did that the other day. I had an international leader that needed to see something from that, and so I just screen recorded for a minute, sent them to that 22nd of March.
Okay, thank you, Denise. Perfect. Well, I've got some homework to do.
Or April 11th, possibly. And by the way, I got an answer back from Jessica Moultrie, which she said, here is my video that outlines it all, which means there is no outline. Follow the video and create from there. So that was on the sponsoring Jenica that you were asking about. Lori, or she still's here. Okay. Awesome. Anything else on that, Elise?
No, that has really helped me clear my head. So thank you.
Okay. And overall, be thinking about, anytime you're bringing someone in, you're thinking, where are they going to grow best? And a lot of times that will mean, okay, what kind of support do they need to grow best? Which of my partners are they going to grow best with? And is it one of their partners that they'll grow best with combined? So we have these 3 layers of support. Or is it, hey, I am passionate about what they're doing and I want to work directly with them, and they have diamond potential, and so they're going to go on that frontline position, right?
Okay.
So pay attention to those questions, place people where they're going to grow best, and then everything will work out. Even if it doesn't look like the best thing for your rank, I promise there will be massive growth. And I love the BBG and just the simple principles it teaches in the enroll section about placing. So if you need to look back at that, go back.
Have it right here. I will go back and just review because, yeah.
Okay, Sharon is updating us on the recordings available through April 2nd, midnight. Okay, Gwen, take it away. And anybody else that has questions, raise your hand. We're going to try and get through as much as we can in the next 15.
So my question is, I know that my fear is the only thing that's really holding me back. I'm afraid that I have a person who is interested in maybe building again. I haven't built in a really long time. I've been focused just on customers and doing my own training and my own personal thing. And my fear is that I don't know how to set her up correctly. So my question is, it feels like everybody keeps saying that, during COVID, people had to pivot and things had to change. And so is there so much change that things need to be redone again? Or if you had a brand new builder, would you just start them with the pipes and making your hundreds list and all the things that we used to do? Or is there new training out there that I should be aware of before I start recommending things to her?
It's a great question, Gwen. And I love that you're asking it because I bet it's a question that's going down in a lot of people's minds. And as you start new people, the nuts and bolts of things have not changed. It's still pipes. It's still, we use the business building guide, and that will give them everything they need. There is a new version of the business building guide coming out from doTERRA soon that will just have a few little insights. But the link that I just put in the chat, or the web address, you might have to type it in, that has a download. Let me see, and I'll just share screen really quick so I can show you. Okay, so sharesuccess.com/leadership. And these are tools from the breakthrough retreat that we just did pre-leadership, okay? And these we just brought together on one page. We'll be adding the recording right here so you can access that, and it should be ready today or tomorrow. And then here's the PowerPoint from our event. If you needed parts or pieces from it, it's there so you don't have to recreate it. And of course, we talked about the success of Experienced doTERRA and have that available there if that serves you. This right here is what I wanted to show you, is the launch overview. So this launch overview is going to be added in the back of the BBG, and it's basically just something to help people get going, right? So it combines some of the things that they've done. So in the new BBG, we'll be like, hey, do pages 1 through 40, and then we'll meet for our launch group, our launch strategy session, right? And so they are doing those parts and then bringing together their answers so that when you meet, that's kind of a filter of they're showing up, they're ready to do this, and you have all the things to make a real business plan, right? When you treat your doTERRA business like a business, it actually works like a business, right? And so this just helps bring together some of those things so that you can really help them like come back to things, right? And then they have this to guide them, their pace, their timing, you've got their launch scheduled, you've gone over just essential things to get them started. So this is a great tool to make sure they've done those prep pages and they can start their business right. They can do it in a couple days, honestly. And then you've got a plan to move forward. You've got potential business partners that you can help meet with, and they've got a vision for where they're going next, right? So I'll share this direct link in the chat as well, but that's the only thing I would add. Yeah, drop the launch. I don't use the launch guide at all anymore. I use the build guide and I go straight to this from the BBG, and I'm like, okay, you do pages 1 through 40 of the BBG, and we're going to get your top answers to create your business plan. And here's your business blueprint, your strategy blueprint, and we'll be ready to go. And, you know, again, it doesn't need to take that long, right? But you want them to think through these key things, because if we do it ready, fight, fire, and we haven't done any aiming, they can spin their wheels a lot. And so we want to get things right. And, oh, that makes me so happy that it's creating momentum. Why do you think it's creating momentum? It's creating clarity, right? And that clarity is helping people show up and do what's in them, right? It helps them point right. It helps them get their target market clear instead of just spinning their wheels, right? So how useful would this be for some of us to do, right? Really useful. Revisit it, come up with it. It's amazing. Oh, I love it. Yep. It's clear for everybody, because then we're not doing this wild goose chase of them saying, oh, I want to do this and da da da. Like this, after launching, I don't know, thousands of people, I'm like, okay, this has all the elements that are required to do it right, and not a bunch of extra fluff, you know, that you're making them do extra work for. Okay. What else? We got, who else? Pipe up. Ruth, does that, Gwen, does that give you some good clarity? Any
Yeah,
other?
that really helped. In fact, the thought came to me that that I'm afraid that she's not going to do the work and have the classes. But that's not on me. Like if I give her this step and she wants to have a business, then that becomes on her, and there's nothing for me to be afraid of.
And what's really cool is if she just wants to share, you know, we have a way to just incentivize her for doing that. If that's what she wants to do, great. Here's your code. Let's go. You know, you can do that. It's that simple. And I'm happy to show up and help you. But if you want to build a business, this is how you build a real business that can change your future, right? Good clarity, and that it's not our job, right? Clear is kind, kind to her, kind to you. And time, energy, you know, everything. Super, super. What other questions do you have today? Just shout them out. Let's do this.
Hi, Natalie.
Hey,
My first time here. I get the reminders, and it's the first time I was able to join.
awesome.
So yeah, it's so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So are these recorded, or are they just you show up and it is what it is?
These are recorded and we drop them in. Sharon, can you put the Facebook group where
Oh, great.
I'm trying to remember what the Facebook group is called.
Oh, great.
That's the
I'll grab
group.
that.
Free and join, and you can catch the recording there. And if you want reminders, go to thesharesuccess.com and click on support, and you'll see this is the monthly call that I do for support. Sometimes, you know, Andy does the weekly call with Tiffany, and they do a lot of mindset and some strategy, but I do more strategy and specifics here. Okay.
Thank you. So I do get the text, but I didn't know if they were recorded and where. So thank you. I actually am in the group. You have so
Awesome.
many wonderful leaders in my
I know.
community. So it's like keeping up. I've been on Laura's call earlier today, and tomorrow is Becky's call. And then, so this is great. But I just wanted to say thank you. And I'll go back and listen to the beginning because I don't really, I don't have enough concept of how this works to ask
so
a
great.
pertinent
Just
question at the moment.
any strategy question that you might have on how to deal with something in your business is welcome
Oh,
here. It serves
okay, I got one.
Okay.
So, and I kind of think I know the answer. I kind of have explored it. I have someone on my front line who was an early partner, and for whatever reason, decided to disavow herself or divorce herself from me.
Yep.
But she's still on my front line. We have no communications whatsoever. And there is somebody underneath her who is still a friend and still orders, and who I would like to reignite as a partner. And I really would love to swap them out.
Mhm.
But the person on the top is not communicating. They're both my enrollments.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I know I can grow on that leg regardless.
Right.
The person on the top is not holding commission level orders. And so my question is it better just to work with what I have underneath? Is it worthwhile since the person on top is ordering, but sometimes it's just 11 PV, most times it's just 11 PV a month.
Mhm.
Or is there something that can be done to either encourage her to switch to a wholesale customer so that she can just order what she likes wherever, and she doesn't have to stay on my team if she doesn't want to, or she can, whatever she wants to do, and bring this person up to my front line. So that was kind
So
of
it
where,
sounds like you got one of those come to Jesus convos brewing, right?
she doesn't
And
want to talk to me.
yeah, so it's okay if she doesn't want to talk to you, you still get to have that communication, right?
Mhm.
So whether so as the leader there for your added clarity, you could,
Mhm.
number one, pray about how to do it so that you can do it in a way that might be the most helpful to her. Number two, I would just, every time it's like, what does she care about? I need to put myself in her moccasins, right? Put myself in her shoes, see the world through her eyes, and then just send a video message of that. Hey, love you. So grateful for everything we've been through together. And thank you for your patience with me and my learning process and who I'm becoming. And I just sincerely want to thank you for that. And I want to support you in whatever you want. So I don't know what that is, but here's a few ideas. If you just want to be a customer and you don't want any of these other pieces, you can be a wholesale customer. Keep your rewards. You could check with your account rep to see if they could transfer her and still keep those rewards. Or I will give you whatever in product rewards you will earn for 6 months or whatever it is. Like if she's going to miss something, you can pledge that. You can give her that. Just give me a list. I'll take care of it. And you've got to make it super clear, right? Or if you want to continue on my team, continue with me, if she has a problem with you, maybe that will be the most least attractive thing. Oh, I could go over and work with Judy over there. Or, just like, hey, doTERRA can help if that's more conducive to you and your growth and what you would feel best about. Will you let me know what you feel best about? Just let me know and I'll help facilitate it. So something like that is the message that I would send that's focused on her and loving her, right?
Beautiful. That's really nice. I mean, I did send her a gift some years ago, and she came back in town for Thanksgiving and found the package unopened on my lawn.
So
I'm just like, so yeah, but I will do it. I'll take the challenge.
yeah. And a
I'll
lot of
take the
times
challenge
it's
and do
like prayer to soften that up, and it's okay if she doesn't receive it, then maybe it's a conversation with the other gal about what she really wants to do so you can decide where to focus.
Okay,
Right.
thank you, thank you.
You are so welcome. What's that link? Tell us about it. I think if you work with your account rep, they can downgrade to be a customer. Oh, there's the form for the medical community calls right there. Thank you, Allison, for sharing that. So I believe people can downgrade as long as they, as we decide what to do with the other people underneath them. You just have to be able to tell them that. Okay. So I'm so excited for what is ahead in your journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They can downgrade if someone transfers into their spot. Great insight, Paula. Thank you so much for sharing that. Love your guts. We'll be back here 1 month from now. Thank you for all that you give. Thank you for all the lives that you're blessing. You are enough right now. Jump into those miracle mornings and creating more space so that you can put your heart, mind, and spirit first so that you can show up strong and be the influence for good that you were meant to be. There's people waiting for you. So grateful for you. Lots of love.